It's simply not true that my administration or policies are holding back domestic energy production.
Number one, no more subsidies for fossil fuel industry, no more drilling on federal lands, no more drilling, including offshore, no ability for the oil industry to continue to drill, period.
Our Gasol-in-Chief pleads the fifth when it comes to understanding how to lower fuel prices or just what the hell could be causing all this damn inflation.
That's malarkey.
Absolutely. And Ukraine President Zelensky proves he has balls big enough Russian cosmonauts will take notice from orbit. Welcome to The Laughing Libertarian, and I'm your host, Alan McFarland. But before we get started, make sure you like, subscribe, and share on all your social media. We'd really appreciate it. Thanks. Welcome back to this post-apocalyptic U.S.
That's I Am Legend.
Oh, that is I Am Legend. Sorry about that. Our reality is far worse, and old Joe's administration is full of shrugs when it comes to ways to alleviate that financial pressure. Is this anything new, though? Economics and virtue signaling are the weaknesses of the left. And even as the walls collapse, old Joe wants to hang on to his green initiative. And the entire time, he'll just deflect to other world events when something comes up, proving that as inflation jumps several percentage points, his competency is sliding twice that rate in the opposite direction. And I love how the wealthier people on the left are embracing the fuel crunch. And we can all agree at this point, it's a crunch, not a pinch. Pretty sure some of you have filled up. Fuel is set to cost the average American $2,000 to $3,000 more at the pump and thousands in food and necessary goods as it leaches into every industry. And what do we get? Hashtag Putin price hike. Like cutting off Russian oil is really the reason we're taking a beating. When he took office, inflation was nearly 1.5%, and now it's roughly 7.5%. Damn that Putin. But what we get instead of answers are moronic TikTok and Instagram videos of people claiming to be happy to support Ukraine by paying more at the pump. I mean, these people are mostly suburban, middle-class people who would virtue signal feeding children arsenic if the algorithm made them look like they care. Because literally a year ago, these are the same people who worried about poor people or black people, and usually by claiming that these terms were synonymous. And then there's Stephen Colbert. This waste of flesh made sure to say that a clear conscience is worth a few bucks at the pump. And he'd be willing to pay up to $15 a gallon because, well, he drives a Tesla.
I'm willing to pay $4 a gallon. Hell, I'll pay $15 a gallon because I drive a Tesla.
You know, a vehicle that has an entry level around 50K. And by the way, he's worth more than 75 mil. So these people are so disconnected from other people that can't afford their lifestyles, yet they claim they stand for them. Only when it gets views, of course. But Becky, most of us might just come up a few dollars short of that Tesla price tag. And even if we could, the grid wouldn't support it. But that's the point, isn't it? It's about complying. It's about doing what Biden tells you. Because anything we do wrong is our fault, and that's acceptable. Except when this administration fails, it's also our fault. Or Russia's, or Trump's, or Poland's, or even a damn ape dropping a banana peel when he plays Mario Kart with his grandkids. The point is, he never owns anything. Let's ban Russia oil. It's a good idea on its face, but when you do it to virtue signal, you screw over the people of the U.S. It's just like a career politician in the waning minutes of his life to not understand that you don't leave a job until you have another. And yet you cut off 15% of your oil supply without bolstering oil production domestically. These kinds of idiotic and impulsive decisions are how you end up with Kamala Harris as VP and Pete Buttigieg as your Secretary of Transportation. You know, the guy who can't figure out that if you want a kid, you have to transport your sperm to an egg, not to a colon. And now this guy is supposed to be on top of the energy crisis, of course, telling us to buy electric cars, but it's even more obvious these days that he is just trying to sneak his party's infrastructure package in our back door.
I thought I only knew how to be a bottom.
Upside, maybe as the home interest rates climb and we get foreclosures, the banks might lend us some more money with low interest and long terms for our fuel. But really, how do we fix this realistically? Let's go over to our friends in the Middle East. Nah, tried that and got the whole new crown who dis treatment from the crown princes of Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi. So much for making friends in that sandbox. Well, unless we're willing to make some nuclear concessions. Welcome Iran to the table. Fresh off some super lenient negotiations, didn't see that coming. Or Venezuela proving we don't negotiate with terrorists, but we always negotiate with countries that harbor them. This administration has a long-standing love for anyone who hates what this country is about. Because just as an abusive husband, the government can't have complete control until they strip away all of our humanity and convince us they're only beating us because we made them do it.
And now I know not to disrespect him, not to talk back. You need to appreciate your man, and if he hits you, stay with him. He loves you.
Otherwise, they'd get off their asses and suspend the 18.3 cent federal fuel tax, have the state suspend an average of 31 cents in fuel tax, and if it appeases the crown, source some damn oil from this country. But it's never about helping the people who can't follow the agenda. No, it's all about forcing through everything they want and getting dumbass suburban soccer moms to celebrate it. And yeah, we see through it. But one thing we can't see through, however, is right there in Ukraine. Zelensky went live, as he frequently does, to rally his people and show his detractors that he's still right there. But this time, he actually flipped the camera around to give everyone a view of the night sky in Kyiv. Free of Russian ordnance, of course, because they are apparently the only modern military without night vision. Cheap asses. But it wasn't even necessary, though. With balls that big, the Russians just need to look for him in the shadow cast by those massive man spheres on Bankova Street. But let's be honest with ourselves. Whether it's all show and we've been duped, or he really is a badass, he has shown the world what leadership should look like. Hey, Joe, maybe it's time for you to find your liver spotted set and do something for this country.
Putin's gas hike. That's his gas hike. This so much of this increase in the gas tax, gas price started weeks leading up to what happened there.